Hi, everybody. It's Janella, Katie, and Samantha, and we're back with another episode that you don't want to miss on the Deeper Than Tech podcast, where we talk about how to grow your career in an industry that was not designed with us in mind. Let's be honest. Right now, the economy is not doing so well. Inflation's at an all-time high, and that gas bill isn't sitting right anymore. And companies are also feeling the effects of inflation too. Now is the time to recession-proof your career, especially if you're in tech. But before we dive deep into this topic, and if you love this podcast, please share it with a friend or a coworker. We all heard the term recession in the news, and while working in tech, we have the opportunity to have some disposable money. But every time I look at my grocery bill, my bank account is like, girl, what do y'all fear the most about the recession?
I think if anything for me, it's just job security. I've never really depended on a job like that to live my life. I've always kind of been a creative. I mean, I'm still a creative, but I've always just found things to do that I've never had like that corporate 9 to 5. And now that I do, and now that I've established a lifestyle off of what we know is, this tech salary, this tech bag, it's like, ooh, okay, like I'm my wheels are turning about how I can make sure that I'm still okay. So I'm I get a little scared here and there, but I also make sure that I think about like the industry I'm in. I also make sure I talk to my manager just about, how what they think, because they're still human, and try to have a temperature with my company as to where we stand in that type of in the reception.
Yeah, job security is definitely a fear of mine as well. Like, we are so dependent on our job. Like, we get our health insurance from our job. We get our paycheck. We can eat because we're getting paid.
Pay rent.
Pay rent. That's a big expense. Without any of those, without our job, we can't afford any of that. And if I lose my job, which in tech right now, companies are worried about their bottom line. And the first expense that goes away is employees because we're expensive. So they will start cutting employees. And it's very widely known in tech that tech companies will cut people off really, really quickly. Katie, do you have any other fears regarding recession?
I would like to piggyback off of Janella as well, is job security and basically keeping my ear to the ground as far as like the health of the company. Like, we've been having a lot of town halls and they've been talking about, gas prices and stuff, and just kind of paying attention to what they're saying and what updates they have, and do they still see value in all their employees. And then also too is like brushing up on any skills. So if I ever for any reason need to jump ship or go to another company, do I need to do a skills assessment for myself? Because I'm also looking in the process of looking for a new job, not because of the recession, but because I want to grow and develop my skills more. But really, it's just kind of like paying attention to the climate of the company. So I agree with everything what Janella was saying as well.
You mentioned that you're actually looking for a new job right now. For most people, is it a good time to look for a job when the economy's in a downturn?
For me, it really depends. I feel like you have to have strategy. So I'm looking at companies, and that's one of the questions and challenges that I've been asking my interviewers is, what's your turnover rate? What was the person that was in this position last? Was it because of performance, or was it because that, not afraid to ask those difficult questions in a professional manner? But just saying, the last person that was here, was it something performance related or family? Obviously, they can't go into like details because of laws, but just basically asking them why. But looking at companies that are financially stable. So I've been Googling a lot of companies that are not doing layoffs. I know Amazon and slash AWS and Microsoft are financially healthy. I know there's been other companies like in the airline industry that's doing really well. So it's just, I think really it's about strategy and just like paying attention to what companies are financially healthy when you're looking for a new job. And yes, there is a level of risk for looking for a new role in the middle of a recession. So absolutely, I'm definitely not ignorant to that at all.
You mentioned a lot of big companies, but a lot of people also work at startups. How is it a good idea to look at startups for new jobs?
I've worked at a startup early on in my career. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let Janella answer that one first.
Look, I don't want to take it either. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, I feel like, well, I'll piggyback off of what I mentioned earlier. Like, I mean, if you're presented to a job, this is your first tech job, it's a recession. it's a nice base pay. It's more than what you were getting. Take it. Ask the questions that you need to ask. But if you're in a situation where you need a job, you want to get your foot in the door, we don't really have time to think about the itty bitty details and pieces. Like, we need some money, we need a job. But I will say, piggybacking off of what I said earlier, always look for what's next. Think about the skills that you have and how you can leverage those in your own business, because a lot of people have skills that they can literally go and contract and get clients and, just do individual work and still get a few $100 at least just starting out a week. So I think I'm always the person that's like, I'm gonna make sure I get some type of money outside of this so that I can have something. So if you're in a startup, you're a little scared, it's a little sketchy, just figure out how you can leverage your skills on your own. Like, I'm sure you'll find something. You've got Upwork and Fiverr and all these, platforms for creatives to put their services out there. That's always an option.
We also recorded a previous episode about side hustles in season 2, so make sure you go check out all the side hustles you could have while working in tech. So the next plan is, we talked about job security and maybe getting laid off. Do y'all currently have a layoff plan?
Yes.
Mama's house. Bye, y'all. I'm out. No,
My mama said I can't stay with her, so I wish. When I was 18, she was like, "Okay, baby, bless you. Go on now. Go ahead and do your little tech job,
look,
honey."
all I can say is I'm saving. I have enough to get myself through, a few months. And just the type of person I am, I'm going to figure it out. So, not that I don't have a straight plan. I know that I'm safe when it comes to figuring out what would be next if I had, I have a plan to have time, right? To look or to search or to figure out. And I think that's mainly what people should be prepared for, because you just never know if your layoff plan will even go right. So just be able to buy yourself some time when it's, if that happens. Hopefully it does not, though.
Katie, do you have a layoff plan?
I do. Kind of sorry, Janelle. I'd be like, "Girl, don't be trying to steal all my answers, girl."
No, look, I'm waiting. I want to hear yours now. I'm like, what?
Mine is very similar. Is I've been budgeting, so I had to let go of some subscription services that hurt my spirit. I had to let go of Hulu.
I did too.
Me too. I had.
But I'm not gonna lie, they got me because they said, well, we could do $2.99. I said, all right, I'll stay for a month or two.
Oh, okay.
It's good marketing right there. Yeah.
It's kind of like what Janella says. I've been saving and I've been kind of cutting back. I haven't been buying really a lot of stuff. I logged out of my Amazon and uninstalled the app, so I won't be tempted.
That's good.
Because that free shipping, that'll get you with that free shipping.
They do.
They really do. And then also networking. I've been networking a lot on LinkedIn with other people at other companies and recruiters, and just kind of like, talking to them like, would y'all be looking to hire in the next month or 2 months? So kind of similar to what she was saying, financially and just budgeting.
Yeah, I love all of y'all's ideas, especially when it comes to money. I love money. But I also looked up some other things that we can do to make sure we have a nice layoff plan. I think the number one thing you should do is actually find out about your unemployment benefits that are in your state. A lot of people don't know like what you can get if you get laid off or unemployed. That's really important to know. You can also make sure you update your resume. Like, make sure like if you get laid off, you can start applying to jobs the next day. You don't have to wait to like get out everything together. Look at the different job descriptions. Maybe learn a new skill right now so you can get the next job. You don't have to stay doing the job that you want. I mean, the job that you're doing right now, maybe you could go to another job that you've been interested in going to, and now is the perfect time to look for a new job. You could also update your LinkedIn profile, like Katie said, keeping your LinkedIn up to date, and yeah, networking as well. So those are some great ways to make sure you're ready for layoff.
I love that.
That is good.
Yes, a quick Google search got me really far.
That's all right though.
We talked about making sure that we have our layoff plan, but like maybe we don't want to get laid off for a job. Maybe we don't want to be the first person to go into the boss's office and get the bad news. So how can you make yourself more valuable at the job right now so that won't happen to you?
Ooh, child, if they don't see what I'm doing now, I don't know what to tell them. No, for real. I think that what you said, just kind of continuing education. I know for me, like, I'm just really honing in on those T-shaped skills. So just making sure I'm solid in the basics, right? And making sure that they know that I'm taking these certs and courses, not taking it, as a secret, like, hey, y'all, guess what I'm doing, And honestly, the org that I'm in, they're very vocal about when we take certs. So they send out emails and all type of stuff, sharing the news. But anyway, I think just building that relationship with management. I don't know what they can do when it comes down to like those layoffs, like because they might get laid off too. Who knows? But at least having that relationship with management, because I've seen managers take their best players to wherever they go. So your manager, let's just say, got laid off, and then you get laid off a month later. Okay, that relationship is gonna be what helps you stay afloat, you know? So I would really say just building those relationships and being transparent about how you feel about what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's is great as well. So that is all that we have for today. Recessions are a tough time for the corporations, but also for you. With the right mindset and preparation, you can turn them into an opportunity. Also know there is an end to the recession, and being prepared for it can make everything else much more bearable. Thanks y'all for listening to another episode on the Deeper Than Tech podcast. We love it if you also tag us on social media to let us know that you're actively listening. And we love hearing your feedback. And if you go to Apple Podcasts, please give us a review. Till next time, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.